Imagine standing atop the cliffs of Dover, heart racing, eyes fixed on the horizon, as a terrifying sight emerges from the mist. A seemingly endless line of massive warships sailing toward you. It's July 1588, and Spain's formidable armada, deemed invincible by Europe, is about to unleash fury upon England's shores. But what unfolds next isn't just a battle. It's a dramatic clash of nations, a turning point in history driven by audacity, cunning tactics, and sheer luck. This was England's hour of reckoning, led by Queen Elizabeth I, who stood defiant against seemingly impossible odds. How did this small island nation shatter the mightiest fleet the world had ever seen? In the late 16th century, Spain was the most powerful empire on earth. King Philip II, devoutly Catholic and ambitious, ruled over vast territories, from the Americas to parts of Europe. England, under Elizabeth's Protestant rule, had become a thorn in his side, raiding Spanish treasure ships, supporting rebellions against Spanish control in the Netherlands, and defying his religious dominance. The execution of Mary, Queen of Scots, in 1587, a Catholic rival to Elizabeth's throne, became Philip's final breaking point. Declaring a holy war against England, Philip mobilized the Armada, intending to crush Elizabeth and reinstate Catholic rule. Elizabeth knew the stakes were existential. With limited resources and facing internal turmoil, she called upon her nation to unite in defense. Her inspirational rhetoric, fierce determination, and political acumen galvanized the country. Yet, even Elizabeth couldn't deny the daunting odds. The Armada boasted 130 ships, galleons bristling with cannons, crewed by battle-hardened sailors and soldiers totaling over 27,000. By contrast, England's navy was smaller, hastily assembled, yet commanded by innovative leaders like Sir Francis Drake and Lord Howard of Effingham, whose unconventional tactics would soon rewrite the rules of naval warfare. The battle was not merely one of firepower, but a contest of strategic ingenuity. Spain's strategy was straightforward, yet cumbersome. Sail into the English Channel, rendezvous with the Duke of Parma's army stationed in the Netherlands, and ferry the troops across to invade England. English commanders, however, favored speed and agility. Their lighter, more maneuverable ships could strike swiftly, retreat, and strike again, disrupting Spain's rigid formations. As the Spanish fleet entered the Channel, the English seized their moment. Led by the audacious Sir Francis Drake, whose reputation as a fearless adventurer and pirate preceded him, English ships darted around the cumbersome Spanish vessels, harassing and breaking their formations with quick, relentless assaults. Spain's heavier ships struggled to respond, their cannons designed for close-range combat, cumbersome and ineffective against the elusive English tactics. Days of relentless pursuit and skirmishes culminated off the coast of Gravelines. Desperate to deliver a decisive blow, English commanders executed a daring plan that would become legendary: the fire ships. Under cover of darkness, they loaded several ships with pitch, tar, gunpowder, and set them ablaze, sending these floating infernos drifting into the heart of the Armada's tightly packed formation. Panic erupted among the Spanish sailors. Fearful of explosions, crews frantically cut anchor lines, scattering their fleet into chaos. Exploiting this disarray, the English attacked ferociously at dawn, their cannons pounding relentlessly. The disciplined formations of the Spanish Armada, now shattered, struggled desperately to regroup. But England's relentless barrage proved devastatingly effective, forcing the battered remnants of the Armada northward into the perilous waters of the North Sea. Yet England's victory was not secured solely by tactical brilliance. Nature itself turned against the fleeing Spanish. Severe storms erupted as the Armada attempted to navigate around Scotland and Ireland. Ship after ship was dashed upon jagged rocks, wrecked by violent winds, or sunk by towering waves. Thousands of Spanish sailors drowned or washed ashore, helpless before the merciless storms. Elizabeth and her subjects saw these fierce tempests as divine intervention, famously referring to them as the Protestant wind, seemingly a cosmic endorsement of their cause. The defeat of the Armada wasn't merely a military triumph, it reshaped the geopolitical landscape. Spain's aura of invincibility shattered, its naval dominance forever broken. For England, victory ignited an unprecedented wave of nationalism and unity, catapulting Elizabeth into the annals of legendary rulers. England's rise as a maritime power began here, laying the foundations for an empire that would eventually span the globe. Yet, even today, historians debate, was England's triumph sheer tactical genius, an act of divine providence, or perhaps Spain's tragic underestimation and overconfidence? This is the enduring fascination of the Spanish Armada's defeat, an epic tale of defiance, courage, and unexpected twists of fate. England's survival hinged upon cunning strategy, charismatic leadership, and fortuitous storms, a rare moment where human effort and nature conspired to reshape history itself. As you stand once more atop those windswept cliffs, gazing toward the horizon where the ghostly echoes of battle still linger, one thing is clear. The defeat of the Spanish Armada was more than a victory. It was the birth of a legend that continues to captivate the world. In the aftermath of this staggering victory, England celebrated with an intensity never seen before. Streets filled with jubilant citizens, bonfires blazed on hillsides, and church bells rang continuously, signaling relief and newfound pride. Yet amidst the rejoicing, Elizabeth knew how precariously close they had come to defeat. Behind the celebrations lay harsh realities. England's fleet, though victorious, was battered and strained. Supplies were dangerously low and crews exhausted. Had Spain's original plan succeeded, had the Armada linked with Parma's forces, the outcome could have been catastrophically different. Queen Elizabeth, always politically astute, leveraged this victory to solidify her rule and enhance national pride. Recognizing the profound psychological effect the victory had on her people, she swiftly ensured the story of England's heroism and Spain's defeat was widely circulated. Pamphlets, poems, and plays celebrating English bravery flooded towns and villages, embedding the tale deep into the national consciousness. It was propaganda of the finest sort, bolstering Elizabeth's reign and England's emerging identity. Simultaneously, Spain grappled with the shock of their defeat. King Philip II, convinced that his armada was divinely favored, found the loss incomprehensible. Blame quickly spread through the Spanish court. Commanders were accused of cowardice, incompetence, and even sabotage. Yet historians today suggest that systemic flaws within Spain's naval strategy, heavy reliance on outdated tactics, cumbersome ships ill-suited for the rough North Atlantic, and poor communication between naval and ground forces played a significant role. Philip's rigidity, his insistence on tightly controlling strategy from afar, had stifled innovation and adaptability, qualities the English commanders thrived upon. In the years following the Armada's defeat, Spain desperately attempted to rebuild its naval strength, but the damage to its prestige was irreparable. European nations, emboldened by England's example, increasingly challenged Spain's maritime dominance, leading to widespread piracy and privateering against Spanish interests. This weakening of Spanish power inadvertently accelerated the rise of new powers: England, the Dutch Republic, and later, France. On the other hand, England, buoyed by its newfound confidence, embarked on a golden age of exploration and expansion. Explorers like Sir Walter Raleigh and adventurers inspired by Drake's daring feats pushed outward, driven by visions of wealth and empire. The Atlantic Ocean, once dominated by Spanish treasure ships, gradually became a contested space where England steadily asserted its presence. This newfound ambition laid the groundwork for the eventual British Empire, which would profoundly reshape global history. The Armada's defeat also triggered deeper transformations within England itself. With foreign threats momentarily subdued, Elizabeth turned inward, fostering cultural and economic advancements. The Elizabethan era blossomed, marked by artistic genius. William Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe, and Edmund Spenser flourished, producing works that shaped Western literature. Economically, the nation expanded its maritime trade, growing wealthy through commerce and investing heavily in shipbuilding and naval technology, lessons learned directly from the tactical innovations employed during the Armada conflict. Yet the legacy of the Armada was not confined merely to immediate political and cultural outcomes. Psychologically, the victory instilled in the English psyche a profound sense of exceptionalism, a belief in a divine right to lead and succeed against overwhelming odds. This conviction would underpin British self-perception and policy-making for centuries, fueling colonial expansion and justifying dominance abroad. Ironically, the Armada's defeat would haunt Spain long after Philip's death in 1598. It symbolized the beginning of Spain's gradual decline as a global superpower, a slow erosion of imperial might hastened by costly wars, economic strain, and internal strife. By contrast, the legend of England's triumph became an enduring national myth, retold by generations, continually inspiring pride and patriotism. Even now, centuries later, the Spanish Armada continues to fascinate historians, scholars, and everyday people alike. Its story encapsulates timeless themes: ambition, hubris, innovation, and fate. Museums across Britain display artifacts recovered from Armada shipwrecks, from rusted cannons to intricate jewelry, each relic narrating fragments of that epic struggle. These tangible remnants serve as potent reminders of a pivotal moment when England defied odds that seemed insurmountable. Ultimately, the defeat of the Spanish Armada was more than a mere historical event. It was a profound demonstration of how strategy, leadership, technology, and sheer luck could converge to alter history's trajectory. As you stand gazing across the very waters where this drama unfolded, it becomes clear that what occurred in those turbulent days of July 1588 shaped far more than just the destinies of England and Spain. It reshaped the world. This legendary clash remains a vivid reminder of the enduring power of resilience, innovation, and the indomitable human spirit.